Welcome back. It is time for Set for Life with Nick Sapienza. He joins us in studio. Thanks so much for being here.
Of course.
Okay, so today's question, we kind of talked about how we can get to our goals, but what happens when a wrench is thrown into that plan for our goals? For example, what should you do if for some reason your 401k, your employer stops matching that?
It's a great question. So as we say, as it's been said, you can plan on your plan not going according to plan, right? So there's going to be obstacles other than just market volatility. 401k, what happens if the company stops matching? First, I would want to know why. Why is the company not matching anymore? Are they in some sort of financial trouble?
Yeah.
Should we maybe be looking, I guess I'm less concerned about saving to the 401k, more concerned about finding another job or having a backup plan.
Yeah.
So I'd want to know more about that. That being said, as far as should I continue to invest in my 401k even if there's no match, it's less important. The type of account is less important than just the fact that you invest in general. Okay, the stock market is one of the greatest wealth creation vehicles of all time. It's the way the majority of Americans are going to create wealth and fund their retirement. And it's the greatest equalizer, meaning that you can be a blue-collar worker and accumulate millions of dollars. I happen to work with a lot of people that held blue-collar jobs that have millions of dollars that live extraordinary lives, and we work together to keep that intact. So that being said, invest in general. Now, the 401k, what are the benefits? Aside from the match, there's multiple benefits. One of which is that you get a big tax deduction when you invest in that 401k. Now, for people our age, you and me, we may want to place more emphasis on a Roth 401k than a pre-tax, but conversation for another day. You're still going to get a big tax deduction, and then that money is going to grow tax deferred. So one of the charts that I sent you shows the impact of taxes over a long period of time. Okay, and so you can see what does my account value look like at the end of the day whenever my taxes are deferred, right here, the chart that we have on screen. Standard would be taxes, taking a hit, and then taking a chunk out of it, and then retirement is what happens if that's tax deferred. So that's a difference of hundreds of thousands of dollars over a long period of time.
And I mean, I'm glad that we're talking about this. And there was another graphic that you had, a $1 doubling 20 times. Can you break down what this means?
Yeah, so I don't, it's a very extreme example. I don't really like it, but it just shows you the impact of taxes if you're in the 25% bracket and how much of a chunk that it takes out of your retirement. Now look, the end of the day, you take this with a grain of salt. It's not going to be a difference of $1 million versus $100,000. That's very extreme. You're not going to pay taxes on the entire amount every single year, but you will pay some taxes. So why would you invest in a taxable brokerage account, for example? Because it gives you a lot of flexibility. If you want to retire early, maybe before 59 and a half or before 55 even, when you can start tapping into your 401k, that taxable brokerage account is going to play a big role in your retirement. So yes, you don't get the benefit of tax deferral, but you have the benefit of flexibility and being able to tap into that account sooner than 59 and a half. Some people just have different plans, so you got to create a plan that's custom to what your goals are specifically.
And really quick before we go, in relation to the 401k, should you maybe invest more in your own 401k or dial back a little bit?
I would say that's going to be dependent on the goals. So when you want to retire, but your tax situation and things of that nature. So it's hard to say. I don't want to give any blanket advice as far as invest more, but again, it depends on when you want to retire, really. So the answer might be that you should put everything into the 401k versus anywhere else.
And Nick, thank you so much for stopping by to share your knowledge with us today. If people at home have any questions for you, how can they contact you?
If you Google Nick Sapienza, if you Google my name, that should pop up somewhere. There's a link to our website, Ritholtz Wealth. We have a ton of content that we put out on YouTube, on our other podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts, Spotify, Apple, so on.
Awesome. Thank you so much for being here today.
Of course. Good to be back.
And we're going to post this on our website, kdn.com. You can see our other parts of the series there as well. But let's take a look outside with Adam Olivier.